Hi, I'm Andy Ramirez, and this here is a best of highlights of the Andy Ramirez Show. Now, part of the reason for this is to give you a little bit of a taste and idea of what you experience by listening to the Andy Ramirez Show. Now, for this demo, if you will, I have chosen 3 special guests. 2 of them are former congressmen, and the third is a 2-time Super Bowl winner. The reason I specifically went with these guests, they're among my most recent interviews. The comments I think you're going to find very interesting, very poignant, very straight, as you'll find with all my guests. But I think it'll give you something that you're going to find as a common theme with the program that I present. So, first up is Congressman Kerry Bentivolio. He served as congressman representing, I guess you could say, the suburbs to the northwest of Detroit, Michigan. And let's hear what the congressman has to say. Again, this is Congressman Kerry Bentivolio.
They're very good at it, and they practice it. So how to sidestep a congressman, how to sound like you're answering the question, but you're really not. And that's the biggest problem. I always said there's 5 things you have a hard time finding in Washington, D.C. Number 1 is the truth. Number 2 is common sense. Number 3 is a sense of humor. Number 4 is an honest reporter. And number 5 is a parking space. And that's what we're up against. The average citizens. We're held accountable as average citizens, and we have to be transparent. The IRS or somebody asks us a question from the government, we have to expose just about everything. But you ask them, and they say, "Oh, well, we're protected," or they won't answer you. It's what's the old saying? You're in line, right? So.
Okay, that's Congressman Kerry Bentivolio, and for more of that interview, you want to listen specifically to episode 26. Now, I picked that specifically because it addresses Washington and what people face. For my next guest, I go all the way back to episode 22. And this is another former congressman, one-time candidate for president, one-time candidate for governor, representing the state of Colorado, and another friend. This would be Tom Tancredo. So here's Tom.
Governor Perry, like almost everybody on that stage now looking for the Republican nomination, is a Johnny-come-lately to this issue. When I was running in 2007, he did nothing but castigate me, speak of me in the nastiest of terms, and I couldn't care less. If I were going to get upset about that, I would probably never venture out of my home any day. But all my only point is to now look at him standing up there and pretending to be the great border security guy. I tell you, well, it turns my stomach. And he's not the only one, of course, because they've been all over, with the exception, truly, of Ted Cruz. All of them have been all over the board on this issue, scared to death to deal with it, generally speaking. Only when they see a horrible event like the one in San Francisco, are they willing to venture out and say something even remotely controversial. Now, I have no respect for him, none at all.
Okay, that's Congressman Tom Tancredo, and of course he's speaking about Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas, and for more of our comments on Governor Perry and so much more, you want to listen to episode 22. Now, I will add that Governor Perry has suspended his campaign for the Republican nomination for president for the 2016 election cycle. Okay, last up of this special selections or highlights, if you will, a best of, is 2-time Super Bowl winner Clint Didier. He won his 2 rings with the Washington Redskins. He's had success on all levels. I mean, if you want to listen to 2 hours of inspiration and learning what it takes to become a winner, you don't have to travel much farther than listening to episode 28. So here's Clint Didier, and you definitely want to listen to this because there's a little surprise later in this for you.
The Super Bowl catch?
The Super Bowl catch.
Well, going into the Super Bowls, I played in 3 of them, 17, 18, and 22. My greatest fear was watching Jerry Smith drop that touchdown pass. And so, I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of soul searching to make sure that, I had myself ready, because I did not want to be that guy dropping that pass in the end zone in a Super Bowl. And that's your greatest fear. But when you get out there, you don't think about it. It's just prior to the game. You always dwell on it. But that play was almost recalled. There was a timeout called on that play was called. We broke, and then the timeout was called. And I guess Jay Schrader was in the coach's huddle over on the sideline. And he says, that play's going to work. Run it. Run the play. And he lobbied, and he kept the play on call. And it was a corner route. It was a 3 receiver breakout. As we went up the field, we broke out. We were only on the 7-yard line, so we didn't have a lot of real estate to work with. But I was the one that broke to the corner, and it was a pass over the shoulder. And, of course, I did my toe tap. I didn't know exactly where I was in the end zone. I wanted to make sure I got both feet down. But it was a dream come true, and it's something that I'll never, ever forget. I still have the football in the house, and I only felt bad because I felt Donnie Warren deserved that touchdown more than I did. As a great blocking tight end for the Redskins, he deserved to be honored with that touchdown more than I did.
I've heard that said about a few things, that the Bears team that won the Super Bowl, that so many players that I've spoken with over the years since have said the same thing, that their regret was Walter Payton not scoring too. It's that same feeling.
Yeah, Walter Payton is another great human being who wouldn't cut in line for a transplant liver. He waited in line, and he died in line. And I have great respect for Walter Payton, the size of the man, and that's what I always tell the kids when I coached them. It isn't the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog. We got America. We got a lot of dogs in this fight, and we got a lot of people that need to stand up and start being accountable for this country and the direction it's going in, so that our children have their shot at the American dream.
And that is Clint Didier talking about his catch in the Super Bowl, and also going into Walter Payton, his deep respect and admiration for him, not only as a player, but more importantly as a man, as a human being. And yet, listen to the profoundness of what he has to say, talking about the lesson that could be learned from our kids here in America. And when you listen to that interview, that's what you get from it. You get humility. Look what he said about Don Warren and his thoughts there about Don Warren should have been the one catching the pass, given his hard work as a blocking tight end and everything else. I mean, what you get out of these guests, you get straight talk. You don't get any BS. You get humility. I mean, listen to what is said by Clint over the course of that time period. There's so much that comes across. Clint and I also get into some political stuff and some current affairs stuff, but you find that with all of my guests, you find just straight talk. You find so many different things about them. Now there's some, I'm sure, who might be wondering, well, Andy, why didn't you use a clip from the 9/11 tribute show where you have former New York Police Commissioner Bernie Carrick or Joan Molinaro, who was speaking about her son, Carl, who was a part of the Fire Department of New York's Ladder 2, who perished on 9/11 at the towers. I think that's a show that you need to hear in its entirety itself. But for the purpose of this, I wanted you to get an idea of the clips itself. So this is what you're going to get. Listening to the Andy Ramirez Show, you're getting straight talk, no BS. You're not going to get any political correctness. You're going to get direct responses to the questions. I'm not going to throw you softballs. You're going to get honest questions. You're going to get treated with respect because that's what it's about. I've been a guest on many shows, on television, on talk radio, by daily newspapers, and I want my guests to be treated the same way that I haven't always been treated. I've actually had reporters who have come up afterwards to me and said, well, Andy, our goal was to ambush you. Just as we saw with Univision's George Jorge Ramos. And so when he did the same thing, an ambush attempt at Donald Trump. I get this. And I've been there. I've done that. You're not going to find that here. In fact, anybody out there listening, you want to come on the show, you may not have the same viewpoints that I do, but I'm going to still try to give you the same courtesy that I haven't always received myself. So you can go to my website, AndyRamirez.com, AndyRamirez.com. There's a form there. Feedback, just click on that. It'll email me directly. Or you can send me an email, Andy@AndyRamirez.com. Be more than happy to, if you have any, ask questions on the air, and I'll answer them. If you have any suggestions, feel free. I'm more than happy to take a look and see what I can do. Now, also, it takes money to run shows and to grow a show, so we do accept donations. We have a link on the website, a donations link on the website. We accept all donations. If you can help with a donation, that would be awesome, because I want to grow this show. I want to make this the biggest freaking show on air. And the reason I want to do this is because you're going to get this type of content. Just look at the guests who I've recently had, and I think it speaks for itself. Tom Tancredo, Michael Massey, Carrie Bentivolio, Bernie Carrick, Clint Didier, Mike Walters representing Ducks and Pucks. And I've got more great guests in the future. You want to help grow this show? You want to get top newsmakers? We're going to continue to try to do just that, but it takes your help too. So that's it. This is a best of highlight. I hope you have enjoyed this. And to listen to it, just go to AndyRamirez.com and click on the link, Andy Ramirez Show. Until the next time, stay tuned and God bless.